Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Veronica and Mimi. By the way, I am wearing a shirt, but you guys can barely tell, so make sure you guys don't comment down below that I'm naked or anything like that. From the title of this video, as you guys already saw, I'm reviewing the new BH Cosmetics Liquid Naturally Flawless Foundation. I will be doing a review, demo, and a wear test on my oily ass chicken skin, so make sure you guys keep on watching if you guys are interested. So here are the foundations up close and personal. So as you guys can see that these have 30 mils or 1 fluid ounce like a normal foundation. These are worth $8.99 and it comes in 18 different shades. It varies from very light to very dark. They have very different undertones as well. So if you guys are interested, make sure you guys check out BH Cosmetics website. Alright guys, so here are the foundations. As you guys can see, they're in frosted glass. They look very expensive and they feel luxurious. I got them in the shade 219 Golden Toffee and 217 Sand. So 219 looks more of a yellow neutral undertone. And as you guys can see, the consistency is very, very thick. I'm surprised that 219 looks like it would be a more close match than 217. 217, which is Sand, happens to be a tad bit darker than 219, which is weird. As you guys can see, 217 has more of that peachy undertone, which I guess you can tell within the name. Sand tends to be more peachy, and then the Golden Toffee tends to be more yellow. But here are the swatches. Hopefully you guys can see them. And then I feel like I'm more Golden Toffee, but I'm going to mix a tad bit of Sand in my foundation. So I'm going to be doing one side of my face with the brush and one side with the sponge to see which tool applies best with this foundation. Some of the claims of this foundation are that it is a medium to full buildable coverage. It's also a satin matte finish. We will be testing that out, and I will also be doing a wear test to see if you guys like this. I'm actually just going to take Golden Toffee and then just kind of place this on my skin. I actually changed my mind and I'm going to mix both of the foundations together just because I kind of like the peachy undertone as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and blend with a sponge. I forgot to mention that I'm also using the Laura Mercier primer that I always use in all my foundation videos, just to keep it consistent, to make sure that I don't jeopardize the foundation with my primer. For being super thick, it's not a very hard foundation to blend out. It actually blends out really easily. The foundation kind of has a very painty scent to it. So this is the application with a sponge. As you guys can see, it's a very dewy looking foundation right now. It's supposed to be a satin matte finish, but we shall see if it dries down a little bit or not. It's actually giving me a very natural coverage. It's more of a light medium right now. I will see if I can build this up in a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and take half a pump of both of the foundations, and I'm going to make sure that I try it on the other side of my face with a brush. It's my usual kabuki brush from e.l.f. I feel like this foundation with the sponge so far has soaked up a lot of the product. So here's my brush. First I'm just going to stipple it on. So the brush gives a little bit more coverage than the sponge, of course. That's what I was expecting. But you have to blend your foundation a little bit more because it becomes streaky if you don't blend it in correctly. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to go ahead and just go around with the brush, and then I'm just going to apply, I'm just going to like make sure that I blend this in with the sponge as well. So I'm going to go back in with this sponge just to ensure that everything is blended nice and seamlessly. And this is one layer. I didn't do my nose yet. Typically, most foundations sit weird on my nose, so I'm leaving it to last to see how well it sits. It kind of minimized my pores just a tad bit, but right now I do like the finish. It looks very natural on my skin. It does look like it's a little darker for me, but that's because my neck is a lot lighter than my rest of the body. I will be bringing this down in a little bit. Did the rest of my nose off camera. Nothing weird happened to it. I'm actually going to go in with Golden Toffee just a little bit more to see if I can build up the coverage, just because the foundation says that it is a buildable foundation. And I'm literally just taking half a pump and applying this to my skin. Because the finish of this foundation is so lightweight and so satiny or dewy, it doesn't feel like I have a lot of stuff or a lot of makeup on my face. I'm looking a little Oompa Loompa because I did add a little bit more of number 217 sand onto my skin tone, but that's okay. So yeah, this is definitely a buildable foundation. It's actually giving me more full coverage on my cheeks. I can still see some of my freckles peeping through, but that's normal because I didn't add that much foundation. So far I'm liking this foundation. It looks very satin. I'm trying to see if it's going to dry down to more of a satin matte finish, but it's kind of not. So I hope it stays on my skin because I do happen to have very oily skin. Other than that, that's basically it. I'm going to do the rest of my face and just be right back, guys. Now I'm letting my face bake right now because I added the BH concealer as well. I'm actually going to set my face with this matte finish pressed powder in the shade 230, and I actually have a size up in this, but it was a little too dark for me. So this one should match my skin tone. Just because I do set all my foundations because I am very oily. I don't know if you guys can tell, but my skin does look pretty damn flawless. You do have to set this foundation if you are oily because it looked very dewy to me. It was not even setting to a satin matte finish, in my opinion. I mean, it had a lot of dewiness going on, you know? And I understand that satin matte finishes have some dewiness to it, but my whole face was really dewy, so that's not acceptable. And then I'm actually going to do the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back. So guys, I'm back, and as you guys can see, this is what my face looks like with the foundation on. I don't feel anything on my face whatsoever, and then I did set it like I showed you guys. Right now, I feel like it looks really, really good on my skin, but I'll see if it lasts or not. I will be checking in with you guys, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Hey guys, so it's about 5:12 right now. I've had this foundation on since about 1, so approximately 4 hours. So far, so good. My nose is getting a tad bit oily, but it's like nothing out of the norm, as you guys can tell. So good so far. I'll check up on you guys in a couple of hours. Alright guys, so it is currently like 11:25. I've been wearing this since 1, so it's about a 10-hour wear. As you guys can see, I am pretty darn oily now. Let me just zoom you guys in, and it's looking a tad bit cakey around this and this area, and I'm missing a little bit on my nose, but other than that, the foundation lasted okay on my skin. But take in consideration it's the middle of October, so it's not super hot. So on the regular basis, I don't recommend this to oily skin unless you're gonna wear it for like 2-3 hours, and that's the maximum, because then it does get cakey and oily. So that's it for this video, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe and like this video.